Hello all, hoping this finds you well. Thanks for logging in and watching this video, and I'm hoping that the time we spend together over the course of the next 20 or 30 minutes will be beneficial for you with this remote learning setting that we're kind of in here at Cleveland State. My name is Cullin Fish. If I met you before, nice to see you again. If I haven't met you, nice to meet you. I work in the first year advising office at CSU, so I may be some of your advisors. I may have taught you in ASC. You might have just seen my bald head walking around on campus. Either way, I'm just happy you're joining me today because times are weird right now, so we want to help. So let's see what we can do. So I'm going to share this screen here with you guys so you can see the PowerPoint that I've developed for the workshop. So essentially, I'm going to go through this, and we're going to have some help along the way. But essentially, I've got some skills I want to share. So make sure that you're taking some notes, working alongside me. The more you put into this workshop, the more you're going to get out of it. So aptly named, avoid the comfy couch, tips and tricks for online courses. Because I know you're at home right now working on classes and you've got distractions like the couch and your bed and Netflix. So this workshop hopefully will help with some of those things. Just so y'all know, this workshop is being offered by the Enrollment Management and Student Success Division here at CSU. So the agenda for today, first and foremost, the most important thing I ever tell you is going to be in this workshop. Your lucky day, right? So get ready for that. We're going to talk about 4 success skill areas: real courses, goal setting, time management, and study space. So you might be confused as to what some of those might be. We'll fill you in here as we go through the workshop. And then we're going to close with some resources that are available because even though, as you can see, I'm in my house right now, all our friends at CSU are working remotely. We're still here to help. So know that, don't forget it. So story time, right? As you guys may know, I used to be a college student, just like you, believe it or not. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, went to Bowling Green State University. And one summer, I decided to take summer classes to try and get some extra classes done to catch up on my degree. So I took some online classes through a community college, thinking, hey, this will be easy breezy. And I didn't treat the classes with the respect they deserved. Didn't log in very often, got behind on my assignments, and that summer ended up being a lot more work than I thought it was going to be because I had to catch up with the work I didn't do the first couple weeks of summer. So I learned the hard way that online classes, remote learning, can actually be a lot tougher than you might think it might be, and you all might be feeling that way right now. So just know that I've been there. I recognize what's going on. So I'm hopeful this presentation can kind of help us learn from one another. So go back to my PowerPoint here. All right, so let's see. So again, guys, the most important thing I ever tell you, right? This is the most important part of this presentation. Life is weird right now, right? It's not anything that any of us have ever gone through before. This is not familiar times for you as students, for us as staff and faculty, for the institution. We recognize that the world itself right now is in a weird spot, and that's putting us as students, faculty, and staff in a weird spot. So we want you guys to know that we're in this together. We recognize that this is challenging. It makes sense if you're feeling confused and frustrated. Every student I talk to tends to feel that way. So if you're thinking at your house right now, man, I'm really nervous about these classes, I'm feeling confused what I'm supposed to be doing, you're not alone, right? You can do this though, okay? It's not impossible. I don't want you feeling like this can't happen and can't work for you. You definitely can do this, and the way you're gonna do it is by taking advantage of the resources that I'm gonna share throughout the rest of this workshop. So, y'all ready for goal number 1? I think so. All right, so what I want you guys to know is online courses are real courses, and you should treat them that way. So I've got 2 do nots and 2 strategies to avoid those do nots. So these are common do nots that we heard, or I guess we read and researched from different articles around the country about success skills in online courses. So do not, like I did, assume that the online classes are going to be easy. A lot of students just think, oh, well, I don't have to meet in person. I can just, have my computer up when I'm, in my room, kind of coast through the assignments. Not always the case, right? And not really often at all the case. What I would recommend you do instead is to reframe your study habits and develop new strategies, right? So obviously, y'all are probably learning how to study right now, right? As an online student. You may have learned how to study for the first time in general this year as a college student, Now you've got to reframe your mindset and learn new study habits as an online student and develop new strategies. So new strategies on time management, we're going to talk about that. New strategies on study space, we're going to talk about that. Goal setting, we're going to talk about that. But also what I want you to think about is, what areas are you struggling? What areas do you need the most assistance with? Ask us. Talk to the resources on campus that I'm going to mention throughout this presentation. Let us know what we can do, because it's not your job to be the expert. That's our job. That's what we're here for, is to help you kind of think about some of these strategies. My next do not is ignoring the technical requirements. So what I would recommend you do instead is make yourself familiar with a new norm, right? So if you're not familiar with Blackboard yet, it needs to be your best friend as soon as possible, right? Because most of your classes are probably working through Blackboard. There may be some other requirements that your instructors have been working with, whether it be for math courses or science courses, but whatever it may be, make yourself familiar. If you're not sure how to become familiar with those requirements or how to access or utilize them, ask. Ask us, ask the instructor, let us know what we can do. If you don't have access to technology, one, awesome job finding this video. Two, let's get you access to technology. So make sure you follow up with an advisor, follow up with all-in-one. Let's see what we can do to try and assist you in that situation. Also, discussion boards are a large part of online/web classes. So you probably didn't have to do those with your in-person classes. You may be doing those now. I know for me, I teach ASC 101. If some of you guys are out there watching this, you're in my class, you know you've got to be doing discussion boards now. This is a great way to engage with your instructor, with your classmates, also to help keep you on track. Make yourself familiar with that function in Blackboard, and make yourself familiar with all those pieces, because that's going to help you be successful in the classes as you move forward. So, success skill number one, with the light bulb here going off, become familiar with each class. So if you're sitting there right now confused with what's going on, take it one class at a time. Don't think about all the stuff you've got going on. Think about, okay, English 102. This is what I've got to do the rest of this semester. The semester is 5 more weeks, y'all. Not a ton of time. It's going to go quick. Make yourself familiar with what you need to do for those 5 weeks in that class. Then do it for the next class and the next class and the next class. What are the new expectations? Review the syllabus. You might have a new syllabus in the class. Check Blackboard. Email your instructor. Ask to use Zoom, just like you're using right now. Use Zoom to meet one-on-one with your instructor. Your instructors probably miss seeing you. They probably want to hang out with you just as much as you probably miss seeing them in class. So don't hesitate to reach out, ask questions, as they're here to assist, okay? So success skill number one to help you in these online or remote classes, become familiar with each class. So for my next 2 categories, I am going to bring in someone I know pretty well, and you may know too, because she works at Cleveland State. My wife, Holly Fish, she works over in the Lift Up Vikes office. I am going to actually bring her to this Zoom meeting real quick. So let's see here. So I'm going to invite her, and we're going to have her log in because I want to get her perspective on a couple of these things that I'm going to talk with you guys about, because she's got some great insight. Let's see. All right, so I just sent her the invite. She should be joining us here in just a minute. So this is a good time. Catch up on your notes. Make sure you're thinking about what kind of breakdown you want to do with reaching out to your classes, talking to your instructors. And it looks like she's entered the waiting room, so I'm going to admit her right now. Holly Fish, how you doing?
You.
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. Y'all, this is crazy. We're in the same house Zooming together right now for your benefit, right? So, Holly, I brought you along because I wanted to talk to you about success skills for online and remote classes, right? So did you ever take an online class in college?
I took one.
How did it go? What was your experience?
It's tough. It's hard to stay focused, and you just really have to think of things you're talking about, time management and goals that you have, and you got to stay focused, but it's worth it.
Understood. Appreciate that. And what a concept that you would bring up time management and goals, because we're going to talk about those 2 things. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share my PowerPoint with you so you can see it and we can kind of work along together. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right. So do you see my PowerPoint on the screen there, Holly?
I do.
Excellent. So goal setting. That's what I want to talk to you first about, right? So when you're not in in-person classes, there's no visual or verbal reminders about what needs to be done. So there's no going into class on Friday morning and your instructor telling you, hey, just so you know, you've got that exam coming up next week, right? Or, hey, just so you know, I made that change to the syllabus. So this, even more than before, college is always on you, but even more now, this truly is on you as a student, right? So what I want to talk about now are daily, weekly, and rest of the semester goals, right? Because we've got the rest of the semester, 5-6 weeks left, right? But if we set daily and weekly goals, that's going to help us get all the way there. Holly, have you ever heard of the term accountability buddy before?
I have.
Yeah. So what do you think it means when you heard it? What does it mean to you?
So it means that you find a partner in crime for these next couple of weeks for your goals. So you find one person that you trust and you ask them to keep you accountable with your work or the goals that you have.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's perfect. I appreciate you providing that perspective. Yeah, so partner in crime is a good term. I like the way you said that. So it's really hard sometimes to keep ourselves accountable because it's easy to tell ourselves, oh, well, if I didn't do that, I'm going to just get it the next time, right? But if you tell, hey, your best friend or somebody in your house or somebody in your class, because remember, you can communicate with your classmates through Blackboard, hey, this is what I'm going to do for XYZ course this week. They can then check in with you. Plus, then you can check in with them and call them out on their stuff too. So obviously, from a proper social distance, keep your distance, communicate via Zoom, right? That's important right now. But getting an accountability buddy is going to help you out the rest of the semester, okay? Make sense? Excellent, thank you. I appreciate that. So what I want to talk to you now about, Holly, is SMART goals. Have you heard of SMART goals before?
I have.
Awesome. Okay, so SMART goals, if you guys out in the audience haven't heard of SMART goals before, they essentially are important into creating goals that are manageable. When I say that, what I mean is when I make a goal for myself, I could easily say, hey, in 2 weeks, I'm going to run a marathon. Awesome. That sounds pretty dope, right? But that might not be very smart, right? Because I struggle to run a couple miles now, let alone 26 miles. So yeah, is a marathon specific? It is. Is it measurable? Yeah. Attainable though? I don't know, right? That might be a struggle for me. Relevant? Sure. Time-based? Yeah. So I'm even hitting 4 of the 5 criteria and it still might not be a SMART goal. So we've got to be really intentional when it comes to making our goals to help us kind of make them attainable over the course of time. So Holly, what I want to ask you is, with what you know about Cleveland State as a staff member, and with what you know as someone who used to be a college student and took an online class, what do you think could be a SMART goal for the rest of this semester?
That is a good question. I think that one thing is really using the resources that CSU has laid out for students would be really helpful, especially as we are remote. Having that connection to the resources is even more important. So specifically, like once a week, I would want to use one of the CSU resources, specifically the academic ones that are laid out for my classes.
Awesome. So do you have because as an advisor, sometimes I got a lot to remember. I forget about all the resources that we have. Do you remember some of those academic resources that we have on campus?
Yeah, so I would say I would recommend, and if I was a student, I would try one per week at least to look at working with task or tutoring and academic success programming. Look at our writing center. If you are still doing papers for classes, they're still working with you to read over some of your work.
Awesome.
Definitely talk to your academic advisor. They are one of your best academic resources that you have. And the Math Learning Center, they're also still helping. So I think that if you're in a math class, it still can be hard. It might be hard not being right there in front of the blackboard or whiteboard with your instructor and your fellow students. So using the Math Learning Center, I think, would be really important too. So I'd say those 4 main academic resources I'd want to use one every week.
Awesome. That's a great goal. And I mean, if we go through the SMART goal pieces, right, very specific, we're going to meet with one academic resource on campus. It's measurable. It's 1 per week. It's definitely attainable. It's relevant. Yeah, it has to do with academic success and success skills overall, which is what we're talking about. And it's time-based. It's 1 per week. That's perfect. You couldn't have done a better job. I'm so proud of you. Whoever married you is a really lucky guy. Yeah, crazy. So would you mind sticking around for one more potential skill with me?
Sure.
Awesome. You got time for that?
I do.
Okay. Just want to make sure. All right. So the next. Nowhere to be. Yeah, we got to be inside, right? So with time management, this is arguably, from my perspective as an advisor, the biggest area of struggle for students in general, right? And probably us as human beings, right? We struggle to manage our time. Online classes, web-based classes, remote learning, huge part of it, right? So online classes may seem like they provide flexibility. Oh my goodness, I'm home. I can be on my couch. I can log in whenever I want. A lot of the due dates may be flexible now, right? I've got all this time on my hands. Sounds like it's my best friend hanging out. When in reality, it's probably more likely your worst enemy, right? Because I know for me, I use this all the time. And I know some of you guys out there listening probably do this right now. It's you sleep in, you don't have to be anywhere. You get up late in the day. You think, okay, I could log in. Netflix sounds pretty dope right now. I'm going to watch 9 episodes of The Office. I do that sometimes. It's okay. We all do it, right? And then all of a sudden it's 10 p.m. and it's Thursday night and you log in and you haven't looked at your classes for 3 days and you've got all this stuff due and you've got an hour to do it. That's time management, y'all. And that's going to happen, right? So I want to talk with you guys about how we balance our time over the course of the next 5 weeks, right? So success skill number 3, being intentional with your schedule. So things I want you to think about is blocking time, right? Factoring in prior commitments and life. Y'all are human beings. We know a lot of you guys might be out working still right now. We know a lot of you guys still have life to do. You're working, you're taking care of people at home, you're cleaning your room, you're doing whatever else you need to be doing. Those things are part of your schedule and they take away from your time to work on online classes. So we have to be intentional with that. And the biggest thing I can recommend to you, and I know it's not mind-blowing, but for some time it could have mind-blowing results. Devote time to your classes when you would have been in the in-person class, right? So if you have math at 2 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday, log into that math class at 2 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday. Now, some of your instructors might make that a thing you have to do. Maybe not. Even if they're not making you do that, log in because that's going to help you separate your responsibilities from here to here as opposed to them piling on up with each other, right? So Holly, what I want to do with you is talk about this student schedule I've got, and I want to see if you can help me kind of balance some time. Does that sound good?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, cool. So I'm going to stop sharing the PowerPoint here, and I'm going to share another screen with you here real fast. Let's see here. Do you see the schedule on the screen?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Technology works. What a concept. So this is a schedule of a first-year student here at Cleveland State. So it looks like a business student. We got World of Business, Communications, English, ASC 101, whoop whoop, ASC 101, and Math 149, right? So if you were a student doing these classes now remotely, Holly, like all the students here at Cleveland State are, and this was your schedule. Based on the conversation we just had, what are some things that you could do with your schedule to kind of help balance it?
Yeah, so definitely, if I'm used to having my one class at 9:10 in the morning every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those are the times I should be logging in and reading my emails and checking Blackboard, making sure that I'm doing assignments that are due. So making sure that I wake up, get ready, and do the class that I know I'm supposed to be doing at that time. So making sure that I'm doing class at the time that I have it on my schedule anyway.
Awesome. No, that's perfect. I couldn't have answered that better myself. So being intentional about how you spend your time. Hey, I'm going to log in and be working on my business class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9, 10 to 10. We don't even have any classes on Tuesday and Thursday with this schedule because whoever their advisor was, it was me. Hint, hint, must have made their schedule that way because that's what they preferred, right? So that's a good starting point. Now, Holly, have you ever heard how many hours a week you're supposed to work on your classes outside of class? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, I have, but give us a reminder, Cullin.
So if you aren't familiar with that concept, you obviously are going to have to work on classes outside of just when you're in class. And you all have found that out through your time here at CSU thus far. But now that you're online class, that's even more so, right? So even if we're logging in at 9:10 for our business class for our 3 hours a week, the rule of thumb is that we spend 2 hours for every hour that we're in class on homework, on class prep work to make sure that we're successful. And I know a lot of you guys right now just might have closed your computer and said, this guy's crazy. That's too much time. I'm never going to do that, right? So I get it. I understand it. I want you to get to that point. But for now, for today's exercise, what I want you to do is take your grid schedule, just like this. You can access this on CampusNet. Look at your typical schedule and plan to start logging into your classes at these times, and take 1 hour for every hour that you're in class and write it on your schedule as time that you're going to work on your classes for CSU, right? So if you're in 14 credit hours, on top of this schedule that you have right now, plan for 14 more hours in here. So if it's, hey, on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to spend 4 hours each day working on homework. That's 8 hours already right there, right? You can be intentional about how you want to spend that time. So if you know, hey, Math 149, that's my busiest class, block more time for Math 149. If you know communications is giving you kind of a hard time, your midterm grade wasn't where you want it to be, hey, block more time for communications to help yourself catch up. This is how we're going to find success with time management this semester, is blocking our schedule. And you may not like it, you may never do it again, but for the next 5 weeks, I promise you, this will help you. Does that make sense, Holly?
I definitely think so, and I wish I would have done it a lot more when I was in undergrad. I think it would have helped my schedule a lot.
Understood. No, me too. Me too. I was by no means a perfect student, but I learned, and that's why I'm doing this now, right? Trying to help these guys out.
Yeah.
So Holly, that was super awesome. I don't want to make you hang out any longer because you have to hang out with me all day. So this is your time away from me when I'm doing this. So if you have nothing else to add, I'll let you go.
All right. Well, good luck, everyone. You're going to be great. And if you need anything, that's what the CSU staff is for. So we'll see you later. Thanks, Cullin.
Thank you so much for joining me, Holly. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful rest of your night. All right, y'all. Isn't she lovely? I think so. I'm pretty sure she's pretty lovely. So she just joined us. I've still got one more skill to share with you guys. We've only gotten through 3 of them. So believe it or not, there's one more. So let me pull up my PowerPoint here real quick. Let's get back to where we were before. Excellent. So the next PowerPoint, or the next skill essentially, is going to talk about study space, right? So I know that for me, I have to work at my kitchen table. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at my kitchen table, hanging out, doing all this stuff. I know I need to be here because if I go away from the kitchen table, if I go up into my room, if I'm on the couch, I'm not going to do my best work, right? So what I want you guys to think about are couches and beds are comfy spaces, yes, but they may not be the best space for online coursework. Makes sense. I want you to think about the importance of limiting distractions. So if you know, hey, this workspace that I'm working in, my little brother's going to run by my computer every 5 minutes because it's in between him and the Xbox. Probably not a good location, right? Also, a study space helps you get routine, which is key during this tough time when we're locked up in our houses for hours every day. So I want you to think about study space and making it a consistent study space. And to do that, the next skill is creating a dedicated learning environment. So creating a space that you consistently work on your classwork from. Now, I know I'm realistic that you're probably not going to do it every single day, every hour of the day, because you may just need to change a space, right? If you're working on something from your bed before you go to sleep, I get it, right? That happens. But for the majority of your work, I want you to try and think about creating a dedicated learning environment. It helps with consistency. You definitely can be comfortable, so make sure it's a comfortable space. You know, don't be sitting in the most uncomfortable chair in your house just because Cullin said to. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to be comfortable. Make sure that wherever you are has good access to Wi-Fi. So for me, if I go down to my basement, I'm not going to have great access to Wi-Fi. So I've got to be here on the main floor of the house to make sure that I can be okay. Have all your resources in one spot. So if you know, hey, I need my notepad for my to-do list, I need my pens and pencils, I need my headphones, I need my phone charger, I need my water bottle, have all those things in one space, because as soon as you get up, you're going to be tempted to sit on your couch, watch Netflix, talk to mom, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden it's been an hour and you've lost an hour of class time that you've got to make up later, right? So have all your stuff in one spot and make sure it's free of distractions to the best of your ability, right? I get it. Distractions are going to come. Like I said, little brother runs by. You're at home right now. You can't avoid everything. I understand that. But try and create a space that's going to help you dedicate the time to your learning, to your classes, because it's going to help you keep organized and it's going to help you balance out that routine with school and your everyday at-home life. Make sense? I think so. So, lastly, I know that was a lot of information, but I don't want you to forget about resources. We may not be on campus, but we're still here to help. Holly did an awesome job summarizing and making sure you all knew, but advising is available to you. KeyBank scholars, graduation coaches, tutoring and academic success center, the math learning center, writing center, counseling center, and more. We are here for you guys. We may not be on campus like we typically are, but we are here to assist. We know life is crazy. It's crazy for all of us. We want to help you just like you want to help yourself. So if you need help, let us know. Even if you're not sure, even if you're like, I need help with math, I don't know where to go. I'm probably not going to be able to help you with math. I'm not very good at math, but I can get you help at the Math Learning Center, right? So ask someone on campus. We'll get you connected and we'll go from there. I understand, and I've already said it once, this was a lot to take in, right? If you have follow-up questions on success strategies, resources on campus, updates to Cleveland State University policies and procedure, anything at all, the best thing you can do is reach out to someone. I'm a first-year advisor, so I'm always selfishly going to say, reach out to your advisor. But realistically, in times like this, reach out to somebody. Call All-in-One, call financial aid, call your graduation coach, call whomever, right? Email an office on campus. We're all trying to help you all to the best of our ability. Let us know what we can do. Do not feel like you're in this alone and do not feel lost. And if you do feel lost, because you may, let us help you with that. And that is a recap, the most important thing I've ever told you, right? You've got it, dude. As Michelle Tanner would say, you have an entire university behind you each step of the way. You've got this. We've got you. And I'll repeat it again. You can do this. Let us know what we can do to help. Have a wonderful day. Again, I'm Cullin Fish with First Year Advising. Let me know what I can do to assist you. You have an outstanding evening.